It's Sunday the 5th of January in the Vendée Globe, the skipper's 56th day at sea, and it looks like the two leaders are about to make their way back into the northern hemisphere. We take a look at a little weed problem for Roman Atanasio in the South Atlantic, and then we hear from Sam Goodchild and Conrad Colman, take a look at the tracker to see where those positions are, and the leaderboard, and finally hear from Sébastien Marsset. All sailors know the problems when you catch a little bit of weed on your foils, but spare a thought for Roman Atanasio on Fortinet Best Western, who picked up this while going along the Argentinian coast just to the west of the Falkland Islands.
Hello! So there's some good news and there's some bad news. The good news is we got some wind and we're moving. And bad news is we paid pretty hard. Basically spent the whole day yesterday and the whole night last night not moving anywhere. And while the others were moving, or most of the others anyway. So yeah, it cost quite a lot of miles, that's going to hurt. The other good news is it's warm. I got my t-shirt off. And the other good news is I'm not on my own, because I can see Boris. Nobody can see him. Probably too small, but there's a tiny little Boris over there on Malaysia. So it's not all bad news, but it hurts, I'm not gonna lie. But at least we're moving, so I'm happy with that. And I might even try and have a shower. It's gonna be cold, but the water's not warm, but that'd be worth it. Oh la la, what a night. See ya.
Now that is something a lot cooler to see on the horizon than an iceberg. Hey, it's Louis Duke. This is the first smoker I've seen since the South Atlantic when I saw Goodchild.
Now I've been chasing him down all day. He started off when I saw him on the AIS, 16 miles ahead of me. Now he's right next to me. So, Louis, pour Conrad, tu me reçois? Haven't yet spoken to him. I was hoping that we'd get close enough to have a decent connection. We'll see if he picks up.
Hey, Conrad, comment tu fais?
Hey, salut, comment ça va?
Putain, je sors de la valette, mais comme je suis en mode compas, je suis à moitié arrêté. Ah, c'est le bordel.
Ouais, c'est cool. Bah, je suis ravi d'être à nouveau dans un groupe de poursuivants. J'ai passé beaucoup de temps tout seul, mais vraiment tout seul. Et du coup, je suis bien content d'être parmi vous à nouveau. Toi plus l'autre groupe, vous étiez en train de faire un course de dingue jusqu'ici, donc je suis ravi d'en faire partie maintenant.
Eh ben c'est cool, hein, bienvenue avec nous, et puis de toute façon on va être nombreux à jouer jusqu'au Sable de l'Homme maintenant. Hein.
Well, there we go. There's Louis Duke on his boat. Just had a chat with him.
And he confirmed to me that all of his spinnakers and jennikers are destroyed, so he's sailing with his code 0 at the moment, which I guess that explains why I was able to catch him today. It's still super squally and unstable out here, and so I'm still sailing finally with the full main. You can see the full MSM logo up there, which is cool, but still with the small jenniker and the J3. That just means that I can manage the squalls a little bit better, because at the moment we've got 20 knots of wind, but sometimes it comes through with 25, 27, 28, 30, 32, and that gets a little spicy, and I didn't want to try the masthead sail for the moment. So it's cool. It feels just look at that. It feels just so cool to see another boat. I haven't seen one since the South Atlantic, when Goodchild and Benjamin Ferret were sailing really close to me. And then, as you know, I got chucked out the back when I had a problem with the electronics, and then took that option up by New Zealand. So I haven't been having these these sort of encounters in the middle of the ocean, like everybody else. So this is unique and special and cool, and it means that it's proof that I'm catching up and I'm getting back into the fleet. So with 3 days sailing before the end of the Pacific, then this is exciting. It's going to be South Atlantic and a North Atlantic to get home back to Les Sables. It's going to be tight. Nobody's going to give any quarter. It's going to be a crazy fight all the way to the finish. So I'm looking forward to that. But in the meantime, it's just cool to see another boat out here. And as proof that there's never a dull moment out here, this is my latest repair job. Looks like a stump, but it's actually the end of the jockey pole, the spinnaker sheet jockey pole. And the carbon split when I did a bad jibe, and ended up with the boat completely on its side and dragging this pole through the water. And unsurprisingly, it didn't like that. So the carbon split open, and this titanium connecting point broke out, made its bid for freedom. So I didn't just tape it together. There's new layers of carbon fiber in there and epoxy glue. And let it kick a little bit there. But it's so cold that it's going to take a while for the glue to get solid. So I'll give it a couple of hours, and then I'll come over here with the kettle and steam it, and actually get the internal temperature of the glue high enough to allow it to cure properly. So I'm going to be a little bit creative out here, but it'll do the job. And then tonight or early tomorrow morning, we're going to jibe over, and this can do its job again. So yeah, stay on top of the job list.
The leaders, Charlie Dalin and Yoann Richomme, are approaching the equator and should cross on Sunday afternoon. And we can see there that Charlie Dalin, his instantaneous speed 21.8 knots, and Yoann Richomme 19.7 knots. Sébastien is now also in the trades, but is 792 kilometres behind Dalin now. But it's the group behind now, between 4th and 10th place. We can see that Thomas Rouillon is really being swallowed by the pack after that damage to his J2, with Paul Milhat now only 30 nautical miles behind him. The strategy that we saw play out with Justine Metro didn't quite work, as Sam Goodchild and Boris Herman both managed to find that breeze around that low pressure system. It was a great move by Justine, but it just didn't quite have the breeze enough, and Sam Goodchild and Boris Herman managed to find that breeze just in time. We then see this group of 3, Benjamin Dutroux, Clarice Kramer and Sam Davies, making their way just beyond that ice gate in the South Atlantic. And then Roman and Atanasio, who we saw with that problem with that weed, just crossing ahead of Damien Seguin. And then Jean Le Cam just going to the east of the Falkland Islands. Next to round Cape Horn as we speak is Alan Rohrer, just doing that right now. And then we've got Isabel Joschk and Giancarlo Pedote approaching Cape Horn at the moment. Then it's on to this group who are sticking so tightly together. Benjamin Ferret just clear of this pack, but in amongst that huge group we've got Kajiro Shiraishi, and also we've got Violet Delange and also Conrad Colman. The leaderboard at 0600 hours UTC shows us that Yoann Richomme is just not letting Charlie Dalin get away and is averaging 0.13 of a knot faster over the last 24 hours. Sébastien is in that safe place, not in any of these groups, but it's 4th to 9th, where we can see the positions are extremely tight. Just over 200 nautical miles separates Thomas Rouillon in 4th to Boris Herman in 9th place. And this is after nearly 19,000 nautical miles.
Last days have been quite challenging in terms of maneuvering. A lot of wind change, a lot of cloud activity, so plenty of maneuver on the deck. So I think I feel like I need to rest, so I'm trying to get as much rest as possible. And my main focus is to get ready to run the Cape Horn within 3 days now, around the 2 to 3 days. So looking a lot at the weather forecast, which is quite challenging with low pressure for the end of the Pacific, then crossing the shadow of the end, then a low pressure developing east of the end in the Atlantic, really deep low pressure. Just thinking about how to be ready for that and what's the option in terms of course regarding this weather forecast. That's my concern about meteo weather strategy. I've lost not a lot. I've lost a bit compared to the other boat, but it's been on purpose. I wanted to get north just to get a better angle when the wind gets stronger, and so it's great to be part of this group of boats, even if they've been catching me up. But I need to deal with that. I mean, they're all faster boats than mine, so I can do my best to be catch up as little as possible. But it is hard. And this weather work on the strategic work goes to get the boat ready. Then once I've got the tactic plan, I need to get my boat ready to do it. So it's just getting stuff clean and stored, not to have them everywhere on the boat when it's going to be shaker. It's get the right sail on deck, get the storm jig back on deck, get everything ready, water, energy, food. So that's what I'm doing now. That's it. So, and I'm really looking forward to run Cape Horn, and as everyone, I think, and to be back in the Atlantic.
Thank you for watching today. We'll continue to bring you all the latest news from the Vendée Globe as it unfolds. So please do subscribe to our channel using the button down here, and take a look at sailworld.com and yachtsandyachting.com for all the latest news in the world of sailing.